Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing most excellent and getting better.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a fantastic answer. I'm not sure. Is this a just a call in or is this a Q&A? Is this a lesson?
Most excellent. Hang on a second. Better. I gotta mute my.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
So I'm going. Oh, I decided to go live this morning. I probably,
Okay.
they have said that. So I'm going live on. Yeah, no. So I don't know if I understand your question. It's
Well, I
it's a registration first thing is what I'm
yes.
trying to do. So if you're a member of SuperUser Academy, taking advantage of the offer to get help, help people get certified.
Great.
That's how you heard about it, right? Aren't you?
Well, I can't remember. I saw it somewhere. My I might well, it looked interesting, and I've already got admin and platform app builder certs,
Oh, good.
and I just it just looked like it was going to be interesting discussion. I think I might have submitted a question
You did.
regarding
You did. I
flows,
just got. I
but
am just catching up this
oh,
morning and trying to get all the buttons turned on and the lights right, and then
oh, that's okay. I can hold back on,
no, I have no.
this
I've
is
got it. No, I got it. You
okay.
wanted to know if I remember correctly, and I'm going
Yeah,
off memory, which is not
yeah.
what I actually like to do. But um, the let's see, where is it? Yeah, I sent an email out.
Oh, okay.
But let's see, here we go. And let's see, you are. So you're right. You haven't. How did we meet?
We met, I know that it had to have been, well, it might have been through Revlit, um, which is where I work, or it might have been through a webinar or
Did
something
you
like
take my class? I thought you took my class.
I might have taken
It's okay.
some kind of webinar from you, or golly,
That's fine.
there's some, I apologize.
No, no, no. It's okay. Hey, look. Um, you wanted to walk through flows, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm trying to learn more about flows. I'm
Yeah.
studying flows right now, and
Let's go
I don't
flow.
have any specific questions, but this and that topic may be outside of the scope of this.
Why? No, it's
Well, I
fine.
don't know. I didn't know.
Flows are no. Let me tell you something. Like, okay. So Diane, let me just tell you how this whole. I'll
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened. What had happened was, all right. So I had this idea of the
Uh-huh.
SuperUser Academy a couple of years ago
Oh,
that
cool.
enthusiastic Salesforce learners need a place to go,
Oh,
right?
yes,
To
yes.
discuss, and it's not. And Salesforce Saturday is a great place for that, but
Mhm.
it's not focused. It's not deliberate. So what I
Exactly.
did, the SuperUser Academy is designed to help. Right now, I've taught a
Uh-huh.
couple class. I teach the admin class for Salesforce.
Okay. Okay.
So and then
I must have jumped in on something on that,
I think
or
so too. I'm not. Yeah,
yeah.
and I posted. So anyway, I have been helping people get certified for years, right?
Mhm.
And I love it, and it's working, and it's going great. And so for the last couple of years, I've been using the Salesforce practice test, right?
Uh-huh.
And going over that, and what some people have bought. I started. Okay, so last year I walked through the entire Salesforce certification prep trails, and I added a few
Mhm.
other trails for a few associates, friends, colleagues,
Mhm.
employees, the whole 9 yards last year. I
Yeah.
recorded all those sessions
Ah.
and I'm selling those sessions for $19 all together.
Awesome. Good for
Pack 19.
you.
It's like focus on force. So,
Nice.
but I want to sell it for more. I just
Yeah.
haven't been in that business of selling my own training. So
Oh,
this is me saying, you know what, I think the right price for that course is $1,900. So
Mhm,
even though people have paid 19,
mhm.
they are they're going to get a $1,900 course. So this is part of the
Yeah.
weekly live Q&As that
Oh,
I'm doing to promote my Saturday, my my Salesforce Saturday, if you will, right? For Super
yeah,
User
yeah.
Saturday.
Nice.
So anyway, that's why we're here. And
Oh, cool.
I'm doing that so that I can help people find out what I do. It'll also add to the depth and breadth of my YouTube channel, which is what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
constantly promote. And then hopefully sometime people will hire me and say, that guy could come to work with me. And they'll pay
Hey,
me.
that's perfect.
Right. So it's
Perfect.
all promotion,
Yeah.
just not shameless promotion and whatnot. Right? So,
You're giving away something. That's
exactly. Yeah. So
actually
let me get on my screen real quick and let me,
okay.
I need this one. And then let's check out some flows. And then,
Okay,
I, and whatever curiosity you have, I
cool.
probably will end a little early today. It's just us.
Okay,
Just whatever
that's
you want to know about flows, let's go find out. So,
that's fine. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
because flows
Uh,
are where, well, I've said all that to
mhm,
say this. The practice tests and the people that have taken the test most recently show a dissonance. So the practice tests are
yeah.
sold by Salesforce, the one that I
Uh-huh.
buy from Web Assessor and that
Yeah.
I go through with my class.
Hmm.
That one doesn't have very much on flows, but I have some
No.
students that recently took um, the test and failed, and they said there seemed to be a lot of stuff on flow. So I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
Salesforce is moving toward
Yeah.
flow. They've stopped their
Hmm.
development, research and development, making better classic last
Right.
year or so. And
Right.
then part of Lightning was the process builder, which I think is awesome.
Hmm. Yeah. But
But they've stopped.
from what I can see, eventually Process Builder will even be sunsetted or,
By flow.
in maybe, well, maybe not, but some of the like workflow rules,
Yeah. Oh,
maybe. But yeah, I realize that flows are the future,
flows are
and
the future.
I am actively working with a coworker, and we're working through some scenarios, and we're practicing. It's still in terms of the configurationing in the elements, it's still a
Hard.
little hard to get comfortable with. Um,
Yeah.
so
Because it's
I've been
hard.
actually trying to find a person or a small group of people who want to work through scenarios and discuss, especially like maybe with someone like you or someone who's more
Sure.
knowledgeable than me, who can say, okay, now what would you do next? And then, if I can try to figure out and I can ask questions along the way. I find that while I'm working through a scenario, um, I wish I had someone to ask a quick question of, like,
Of course.
oh, does this mean this or this? You know?
By the way, that's the Salesforce customization dilemma. The
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah.
the problem with Salesforce is it does too much, and there's too many people with opinions in the world today. I think we can agree that that's
Oh,
probably true for a lot of things.
uh-huh.
So
Oh,
it's what I've discovered. Here's quick. Like, I teach the admin class. I should be awesome at it. But when I go work, I started experimenting that theory with some friends who have Salesforce, and it turns out I'm not a very good admin. Now, it doesn't mean I'm, like, I don't understand. I totally
yeah.
understand. But in application, whoops, I'm trying to get my camera. I got a new, my, listen, this is
That's quite all right.
my
I
basement,
have similar.
my basement got abated. We had a roof leak. It went all the way to the basement. My office is in the basement.
Oh
I'm now
no.
I'm just joining. I'm in the kitchen, literally in
Oh
the dining room.
no.
Well,
Oh,
we got to now put the basement back together. We got the asbestos out. Now we put it back
oh,
together.
oh
I don't have an
God.
office yet. That's fine.
Oh,
So the point is, when you take what's true about the system in terms of how it works,
yeah,
applying it to real world situations is where that's, to me, where the art comes in as well
yes,
as the science, right? The
yes,
class is the science, the art is making it work together with what else is there, who else is there, what,
right,
there's just such a rich dynamic. So that
yeah,
being said, it's a never ending dynamic. And it never more true now than with what you're saying. Like, there's not only do you have to solve the problem now, but I have been faulted for thinking too far ahead sometimes, like, not strategically necessarily, but just
yeah,
concerned with, like, I just think, well, how do I build that? Sometimes it stops me personally on doing stuff that, like, how do I do this now? But wait a minute, what if it changes in the future? Like, you got to think about that. At least I think about that, probably a little too much, but that's the challenge with Salesforce.
Some would call that over engineering, which I like to do as well.
Occasionally you got to think, but you got to think a few steps ahead. The
Right.
challenge, like, then that's one of the challenges with Salesforce is any ground you take now, in a military metaphor expression, any ground you take now is being eroded on another side or another angle. Like, it's a dynamic. Things are going to change.
Yeah.
I'm implementing up for a customer right now. They're going and they're implementing field service lightning. They call it the Salesforce field service. Oh, they changed their names.
Yeah, I know.
They change their names more than Housewives of Orange County. How about that? Anyway, the point is, it's always changing and it's always growing. It's always dynamic and you're always dealing, and that's hard. So yeah, it's okay. Hard. So let's come up with what part of flows. Okay. Did you want to try, or I'm in the flow. See. What I haven't finished yet. I always like to start somewhere. But is there a trail that you want to put in chat that I can, or is there some you want to just go bust open a flow and see what you want to do?
Trying to think. Do you have?
And I'm not good at flows, by the way. Just so you know, that was like, I really don't.
Neither am I. Well, I'm wondering, are you like currently working through any flow scenario that, I'm wondering if I should share my screen and show you a flow that I've started.
Yeah, let's do that.
That I've had some issues in figuring out how to get it past certain points. Let's see here. Let me open it up here. Give me a moment. All right, let's see what it's going to be. Oops.
Yeah, interesting.
I
actually don't know how you ended up here, Diane.
I think you might have done a talk for Revlit group. That might have been. I think I might have actually found this through LinkedIn, because I think we're connected through LinkedIn.
Oh, and I think I did post it.
I'm pretty sure now that, going back in my memory, that I don't know, a few months ago, you might have done I forget what they were calling them. They were their talks from industry people to employees of Revlit Group.
What is a Revlit Group?
They are
that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, they're under Frank Group Recruiting, and what they do is they pull in people that are interested in getting certified in Salesforce, and what they do is they say, okay, for a commitment of working for us for 2 years, we will give you training and
Is that
help you
Mason
get at
Frank?
least 2 certs. Huh?
Is that Mason Frank?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I taught the first class in America for those guys.
Oh, okay,
In the first
okay,
group of consultants, called consultants.
okay. Yeah, that would have
But now,
been a few years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. But you must have,
Oh,
you must,
I definitely. So here's the deal.
mhm.
We're connected on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we are. And I'm pretty sure I'm
You,
pretty sure now that it's because you probably did
yeah,
a short talk with them,
yeah.
with
You
the
did.
Revlit group in the
You were in
last
my
6
class.
months.
You were in my class. You were in my Salesforce admins prep class, December 2018 or November 2017.
2017?
2018. 2018.
That wouldn't have been through Revlit,
Oh, I know.
because I've only been with Revlit for just under a year.
Yeah, I know. I got
But you know what?
I
I
put it
may
out.
have,
No, I put it out. Listen,
yeah. Yeah,
I got you now. I
okay,
got it now. It just took me a while to find it in the data.
okay. All right, let me,
Because I invited you to the platform app builder study group. That's how we met.
oh, okay, okay,
And you
yeah.
even sent me actually, it's funny.
Hmm.
You sent me in August to a Zoom meeting for one of your study groups. And
Oh,
I said, I'm not sure what this is about. You said, oh, sorry, meant for somebody else.
yeah, because you must have been, yeah, that's right.
But we were
Yeah.
in a cert prep. We were in a class together. Either I taught it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
and I accidentally, oh, that's funny.
but no, and then
I
I do
remember.
not know, but somehow I think I put it on LinkedIn. Whatever. I invited
Uh-huh.
people about this. My wife does my social media stuff for me because as social as I am, social media and I don't get along.
I
The
know,
best I can do is the best. I think I found my way with YouTube videos. Hopefully, this
yeah.
live session will make people aware of how much editing actually gets done for the good sessions. But anyway,
Yeah.
I should have taken everybody through that journey of me finding like where you're at. And by the way, my
Yeah.
fault. I never added you to Salesforce. Like, well, maybe you're in there, maybe you're not. Let me see. No, I never added you to Salesforce. But oh yeah,
Oh,
there's Revlit group.
yeah.
All right. And by the way,
Yeah.
whole bunch of prospects I just got. I got a hack. Your friends and not your fault. This was a
Yeah.
calendar invite. You couldn't have BCC'd anybody on a calendar invite.
Uh-huh.
But what a great way to farm your. Oh, I just have. Hold on. What a great way to farm your inbox for. I just farmed my inbox for all your contacts that you invited me to that meeting with. That I can now spam. It's so excited. Extra spam. We all need it. But anyway, just for the. All right, no kidding. This is what you want help on? Awesome.
Well, okay, don't be too impressed.
Other than this, Mrs. Lincoln, was the play okay? All right.
Huh? So what this is doing, let me give you a little
Yeah,
background here.
let's go find out what you're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I was given actually a tech test
Yeah,
for a potential employer.
yeah,
And it was very interesting. And I actually went in way more deep than they wanted to,
sure.
but I still want to make this work. So basically, so if you look up here in,
Well, let me ask you a question. Hold on, Diane. Let me ask
yeah,
you. So what you're saying is they've asked you to fulfill a requirement and you're giving them, they asked for a Volkswagen and you're building a new Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Is that fair? Like you're giving them not the top of the line Volkswagen, but you're going for the Mercedes. Is that right?
Well, part of the test though was also to see if I could think in terms of taking the requirements and
Yeah.
building just what they needed. But I
What?
did look at the requirements, and one thing that stuck out to me was that they said you need to make make this issue that the salespeople are going to run into, make it easiest for them to fix. Basically, the scenario is when that you cannot, you have to write to where, you know what, it might be.
No, I got it. So it's an opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and
You have a
the
requirements
salespeople
document.
and the salespeople cannot save a closed one unless these three fields are populated, and one of the requirements is that you cannot use a validation rule ahead. You know, you have to allow the salespeople to leave them blank until the very end. So part of it was that I had to use a screen flow and see if any of these three fields are not populated, and if they are, then to make it easy for the salesperson to fix that before they can do save as closed one.
And they want it all done in flow.
And in addition to that, and that's just the top part. That's just this top part. In addition to that, they can't save it as closed one unless there is a primary contact role record, and there's at least one product selected.
I got it.
So,
and no validation rules.
Yeah, no validation rules allowed. Right. And it had to be a screen flow, so it couldn't be auto launched. But I figured out how to auto launch it as into a screen by tagging it as part of, not a quick action, but as part of when they went to select closed one, it actually brought up the screen flow. But anyway, so the top part is checking for the three three fields that may or may not be missing, and in each one, a decision point is this field populated? Yes, then move on to checking the next field. If no, pop up a screen asking them to enter that information or selecting it, depending on what type of information. And I pretty much have the top part figured out.
I got it. I like it. So
and then
so say something. Hold on, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
All right, let me get my let's see if I can do this. Nope. Where's my, am I not able to? Do I have? I was gonna annotate. Okay, so what I really, first off, what I really like is you have it doesn't look like you do that much, but I like the first three decisions are what I call a straight line methodology. So visually speaking, it's a happy path to where you want to go. So what I can tell you is this: in designing a flow, I would design it first on a whiteboard or on paper.
Yes.
A happy path, you know, or right.
Yeah. Where everything is right. Where everything is. Yes.
Everything goes well. I do the same thing with sales process. I used to do the same thing with dating coaching. You meet somebody, what's the happy path you're looking for? Follow that path, and then adjust variations if you look like you're falling above or below the line that you want to go toward, right? Same thing here. So I like that piece. And then you've got the get records at the end of that is what I'm looking at. The two update, all that's updated, and then you get the record. Now you're looking for the contact role records, right?
Yes. And that's where I got stuck because I'm not sure if I attacked that correctly. What I'm trying to do is let's see, it's been a while since I've looked at this flow, a couple of weeks. So I went and got the opportunity contact role,
right,
where the opportunity ID was taken from the opportunity ID, and I got all the records, and then I chose the fields to assign, And let's see, I stored them in a variable, a record collection called, and I named it store op cont role. And then,
So you grabbed all the contact roles
Yeah.
and then you just wanted to define if one was primary or not, true or false.
yes,
Okay, good.
yes. I needed to find, because some of the records, some of the opportunities have zero opportunity or contact role records. Some have a few, but none are primary. So I wasn't sure whether I needed to separate those two
Well, I
tasks.
see this. Well, there's a disconnect, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
this is where I have the
Oh, you got stuck.
testing. I have a testing method where when I go through
No, I
a,
got
I have a yes screen and a no screen, just to test that I got to that point, and that it,
Great.
if I wasn't quite sure what to do. So actually this one would be
Yeah,
here.
no, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
So at this point,
That's really great, by the way. That's really great. I would visually move that yes screen out to the left. No, the test screen.
oh,
out
you
to the
mean
left.
here? Yeah.
So you
Oh,
got
so that it's an area of this.
you know that it's a test, and you know you got your placeholder for when it goes there, right? So
Good idea.
so basically you say, look, great. Now that you've updated the opportunity record, let's update all the related records. And you're going to test for the contact role, and then you're going to test for the product, right? Because
right.
And
right.
by the
now,
way,
the question is, do I need a loop in here for any reason? Because
why?
my original thought was looping through those records to see first, number one, to see if there are any records. And if there are, then to loop through those looking for if one of them's marked primary. Am I making that?
Yeah, you're and from a person whose nickname is Domplicated. Yeah, I can tell you yes, because all you're looking for is that yes or no. Do they have a primary contact role? If yes, next step. That's it. Because how many primaries can there be?
True, just one.
All you're looking for is the one, right? There can only be one primary one. So keep it simple. If they don't have that, they must select it. If there are no contacts roles, then here's what I would tell them.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
An earlier flow would have caught that, because how could I even have a negotiation without a contact role? And how could I have and I wouldn't have even gotten to the proposal stage without a contact role, because you know what? That should be a requirement regardless of any sales process. Why are you closing one? How can you close? I understand you could close an opportunity without a product.
Yeah.
Because not all Salesforce orgs have products enabled. But as a universal object, accounts, contacts, opportunity for accounts and contacts, you can't have, and by the way, here's why I say this. A opportunity record is not a deal, as all the Salesforce training says. It's not a deal. A deal lives in the mind of a salesperson. That's conjuring. It is a sales conversation. We are having an opportunity record is a record of a conversation. How can you be in a conversation by yourself?
Right.
I don't think any opportunity would progress without having a contact role at the first stage to move it to the second stage. Like, until you add a contact role, you've made no sales contact.
Correct. I agree with that. And you know what's funny is
tell them that in your demo.
Yeah, you know what? I was so glad that you said that, because I made some suggestions like that. Because part of the technical assessment was, what questions would you ask?
Sure.
And what things would you suggest to the client? And right off the bat, one of the first things I suggested was, actually, I think the first thing I suggested was, well, you might want to consider at the very least, if you went in your sales path, maybe write in reminders to pop up that, hey, we're at this part in the sales process, and you still haven't
Done this?
you
Yeah.
still haven't made a primary contact role. Please do that now. Or another one was how can you negotiate or go through a proposal process without even knowing what the business need is,
of course, no,
or
listen,
the pain points,
of course,
or how urgent, it's like, you don't ever do that. You don't ever leave that shit to the end.
you know what? Listen, an undisciplined sales force will leave it to the end, or not at all, because salespeople are, what's the word? I don't want to say lazy. I want to say conservative. They're not going to spend any time or effort if it's not required. And let's go back to the name. This is my favorite thing to say. It's not called Sales Ask. It's called Salesforce.
Right. So, hey, good. That's a good.
May the forcing be with you. Do it gentle and kind, but do it. Stop letting your salespeople get away with poor behavior. It's like do you let your children eat what they want to eat? If you do, you got to eat
cereal all day if you let them.
Yeah. Well, and if you buy it, they will eat it, right? So if you let,
that's the only thing, if you have cereal in the cupboard and vegetables in the fridge, and that's all you have, they're going to go for the cereal every time. They're never going to go for the vegetables.
Unless it's broccoli cereal. All right. So let's go. Because I want to answer your question, and then I want to.
Okay.
Well, because I got
that. Yeah, you helped me with that to.
Yeah, and then next thing is the next decision is you don't need to loop. It's a yes or no.
Yeah.
And then bam, get that out, and then do the products. Bam, and then as they update them,
product records and asked, is there an opportunity product selected? And if no, actually this was weirded out, so I had it this way. Yeah. So what I did is I think I'm still working on this, is that I'm trying to make a pick list,
product
select pick list with check boxes to where at least one. I
would. Well, I don't know. This is too deep for me, but here's what I'd like you to consider, because you're smart and you're actually doing really well. The products. So first of all, during this flow, if they leave without a primary contact, or they leave without here's what I would say for it. If they leave without a product or a primary contact, they should still be able to save what they've done.
Good point.
Right. And not save it as close one, but go back to negotiate, like whatever stage they were on before.
Right. Oh,
that stays the same, but that update saves the record with what they've collected. Otherwise, you've ruined it for the salespeople, because once you hurt them like that, you wasted their time.
Right. That's a good. Is that a good use for a pause, a flow pause?
That's a good idea. I don't know,
because I haven't used pauses yet, but actually I do that here. I update once they go through these 3 screens. I update the record.
You did update the record, and that completes it. Well, I would update the record. Yeah, you updated the record already every time.
Each of these.
Perfect.
Now you're right. I do need to add
a chance to add it
after this, before I go to get the product records.
That's right. Update. So make sure you complete their work and save their time in that regard. And then what I would say is, because products, you're going to run into products for as long as Salesforce has been out there, has never been a good product. Like products, selecting them, bundling them. That's what CPQ is all about. Like There's
Okay.
all these other products on the marketplace because Salesforce never really figured out how to make it easy
Oh,
to add and adjust products. So don't you go down that tunnel in this flow.
oh,
Be
okay.
very like, let them, oh, no products. Well, we're going to save your work. Go add products. Come on back. Like,
Oh,
because
okay.
whatever method because there's 100 different methods that you could be using to add products, just
Oh,
test for what the requirement says and then save their work and send them back to the opportunity all done.
mm-hmm.
That way, why didn't you have me add products? Because you're not paying me and I've already done enough work for free. Like, this is,
Okay.
I know that probably some companies, I don't know, I'm saying, I feel like this happened to me one time on an interview. They said, come up with a little training about how to overcome objections. And I went outside the box. They said, go outside the box. Like, and I went metaphysical and it was advanced selling techniques. Never hired me. I'm like, oh, you used it. It's what you did. So now I deliver those requirements in a way that doesn't necessarily give away all my intellectual property,
Oh,
but let
interesting.
them know you have the intellectual capacity. If this is for a
Yeah.
job interview,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't give away the goodies. It's like your mama used to say. So,
Hmm.
or grandma, because I know that our moms that grew up in the 60s they didn't necessarily, they were different. But anyway,
Yeah.
this is great.
So are you making suggestions when I have tech assessments like this from potential
Yeah.
employers, and I share a login to the playground with the company?
Why do they do that? Why do they need to see that? They want to log into it?
I'm
I
trying
never
to
had that happen to me, but maybe look,
actually I'm trying to remember if they had asked for that or not.
I would just show them what you did. Whatever. I'm paranoid naturally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
well,
hadn't even really thought about that. Yeah, yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
well, you did great. And
Oh,
did you
okay.
get your question answered on your Saturday live?
Yeah. I'm glad to have learned. The loop thing was bothering me.
That's because
But
you didn't need it. That's a good
yeah,
indicator.
yeah,
One of the reasons it's bothering you is because either you don't need it or it doesn't really work like you want. So use that feedback because your instincts are really well done. Like you have good instincts, good design,
thank
and it
you.
got all messy right there
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
didn't follow your straight line path. So I would actually go from get records. I would follow the loop. I'd bring that decision tree back to the right and
Okay.
just follow the yellow brick trail. Keep your line because you went around and then you typewritered it. You don't need a typewriter. Just go back, serpentine it.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll help you follow the flow. You want to
Right.
stay in the flow. So you have where you're at. By the
Uh-huh.
way, this is good metaphorical, just like
Yeah,
Csikszentmihalyi wrote the book, Finding Flow.
yeah.
You know where you're at. You know where you want to go. And then the flow is picking that straight line
Okay.
and then focusing on the work that it takes to get you through that line. So that's
Good.
just a little tidbit of your flow was you broke the flow and it got weird because you
Wow.
broke the flow. So
That is really great advice. That's going to be very, very helpful to me in thinking these through in the future because yeah, that totally makes sense. And you're
yep.
not the first person that I've heard say the happy and sad path. So
Take the happy path first, and then
yeah,
the sad path will be like a sine wave
okay,
of where you're going around that path, but it's all in service of that destination.
awesome. I think I'm gonna I might even be able to finish up this flow this weekend so that I can. Yeah, I am also finishing up my uh, uh, what is it called? They now call it Experience Cloud or
I
something
know,
like
right?
that. Digital experiences. So I've actually made myself a what they call a portfolio, which just has two tabs. One is my resume, and another one is the other tab is some details on two projects that I worked on.
Nice.
So maybe well, I plan on publishing that link to LinkedIn when I get that all polished up.
Good.
And trying to maybe think of how I figure out a way I can share this other work that I'm doing, like this flow, but you having cautioned me on people stealing my work, maybe what I should do instead is publish pictures
Yeah.
of the flow.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Instead of allowing people to get in there and tinker around and.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to make one last pitch, superuseracademy.com.
Sure. Oh, this is
Access
awesome.
to these calls or just be on one of my lists somewhere. Be connected to me.
Nice.
We'll get on these Saturday calls, and I'm gonna move them to once a month for now because
Okay.
we're getting to where we want. By the way, I have a goal of getting 100 students at this $19 price.
Okay.
And so if you know anybody that's looking to get their admin certification,
Mhm.
just put it out there. It'd be great. The reason I'm doing it for $19 is I want to charge $1,900. So get in now.
Yeah.
It's gonna go up to $199 as soon as we hit the 100 student mark, and then as we have more value added and created, and a cadence of value is really what I'm looking to create.
Right.
We're gonna keep bumping the price till the market says stop, and then we'll go from there.
Question.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
I got a question though about this. When did you record these? Because I've had my cert for almost a year, and I'm wondering if there's new information that would be valuable to me.
No, I recorded this last year.
Okay.
The new information is coming from the live Q&A, and then when we get enough students, like for a live class, then I'll update all the old videos with the live class. There'll be Saturday boot camps that we do. Well, Diane, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next month if you register for it, and stay in touch. And if you have any other questions, still send them to me. And that's my video recordings for YouTube. I'll do them on Saturdays when I don't have to.
Nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Diane. Have a great weekend.
You too.